Hello everyone, this is Pooka and welcome to another edition of Bad Deck Monday. Today we're going to be taking a look at a pretty unusual deck that I cooked up. But before I get into that, I just want to apologize for the lack of videos lately. I have been sick recently, so I haven't been able to talk very much. You might be able to hear I still have a bit of a cold coming on, so it's a little difficult to talk right now, but I'm going to work through it. We're going to get a video today, and also I have started a new job, so it was a little difficult having both happening at once. I'm going to have a lot less time to do this sort of thing. I will be putting out videos consistently still, but it's going to be a little tougher, and I just needed that week there to kind of recover, get better, and, kind of sort things out, try to figure out a new schedule to make sure I keep getting videos out. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at the deck we have for today's Bad Deck Monday video. We're going to have this revolve around two main Pokemon, really. The first one is going to be Magnezone. So Magnezone has the ability Dual Brains. I don't know why that's what it's called. But Dual Brains allows you to play 2 supporter cards during your turn. So the entire premise of this deck is going to be taking advantage of Dual Brains to play as many supporters as humanly possible. Alright, so obviously we're going to run all sorts of wacky supporters. We'll take a look at those right off the bat. We're going to have our regular supporters, your Skyla, your N, your Juniper. We're only going to play one of those because we don't like discarding the hand so much. We have the Chorus, Lysander. So, we have our regular supporters, but alongside the regular supporters, we're going to run some wacky ones as well to just take advantage of it, and because it is Bad Deck Monday, and one of the staples of Bad Deck Monday in the past has been the wonderful Hooligans Jim and Cass. So this is one of the many wacky supporters we'll be playing in this deck. Flip a coin of heads, choose 3 random cards from your opponent's hand, and then shuffle them into your opponent's deck. This is an awesome card when you get heads, but it takes your supporter for the turn. But that's where Magnezone comes in. We get to play 2 supporters at once. Beautiful. Okay, so Hooligans, Jim, and Cass. We're going to be playing 2 Team Flare Grunt as well. Discard an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Pretty sweet. We could, slow somebody down quite a bit with a Team Flare Grunt. And again, with Dual Brains, we can just play a regular supporter alongside this wacky Team Flare Grunt. We also have a Getsis in here. Look at your opponent's hand, shuffle any item cards you find back into your opponent's deck, and then you get to draw a card for each item that you shuffled back in. Normally a very unreliable supporter, but hey, we can take that risk now that we have Magnezone. We also have 1 Iris. This is a lot of fun with Magnezone. I may consider adding more of these in the future. Your attacks do 10 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So we can do up to an additional 50 damage. I should probably play some more of these because if you play 2 Iris in one turn, you can start doing some ridiculous amounts of damage. So I may consider adding more Iris in the future, but we still just have 1 right here, and then we also have Blacksmith, and that's going to be kind of the card that makes this deck work. Alright, take 2 fire energy out of the discard pile, attach them to one of your fire Pokemon. Okay, so we have Magnezone, and we have a lot of supporters, and then we also have 2 Palpad. This is the last card I should probably touch on. Shuffle 2 supporter cards from your discard pile back into your deck. This just allows us to recover any of these supporter cards we need. Let's see, how many supporters are we playing? We have 2, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 supporters and 2 Palpad. That's the potential for 20 supporters over the course of a game. That's pretty cool. And we can reuse things like Hooligans, Jim and Cass, Blacksmith, Team Flare Grunt, whatever we want to do. Maybe Iris, Lysander. It's just a fun card with when you have so many different kinds of supporters. Alright, anyway, our other partner with Magnezone and our 20 potential supporters is going to be Delphox. So Delphox has that awesome Mystical Fire ability where you can draw until you have 6 cards. So this way we can actually afford to use these gimmicky supporters like the Flare Grunt, the Blacksmith, and so on. because we don't really need to use supporters to draw cards very often once we get Mystical Fire going. Alright, so pretty simple. This is a great ability, and also Blaze Ball is a very good attacker. Blaze Ball, 50 plus 20 for each fire energy attached to this Pokemon. Of course, we have Blacksmith to get those fire energy out of the discard pile and straight onto Delphox for some instant offense. So not only is this a great support Pokemon, it is a great attacker as well. Allows us to keep drawing into more supporters. We can keep playing those supporters, and once this deck gets running, it's really, really fun. You can do all sorts of crazy things. Alright, so our other Pokemon in here, we do have a couple of just big basic Pokemon that I threw in here. We have 2 Reshiram, just a nice non-EX, 130 HP Pokemon. Also very good at Blacksmith. You can power up Blue Flare, and Outrage isn't bad either. And again, some regular attackers. You know, we got a Charizard EX, we got a Mewtwo EX. And I just kind of threw in whatever sounded good. And then we have 1 Jirachi EX. This is particularly good when we have so many different kinds of supporters. Right? We can Stellar Guidance for anything. Say I want to use Lysander, we can grab it. I want to use Iris, let's grab it. If I want to Skyla for a rare candy so I can get my Magnezone into play, and then I just play another supporter anyway, I can do that too. There's all sorts of options with this deck, and that's what makes it fun. So many options. Okay, so we've seen pretty much everything in the deck. There's just a few more cards we have to touch on before we get into a game here. Just 2 Level Ball and 3 Ultra Ball to search out our Pokemon. Those are very important. 2 Muscle Band. This will just allow us to do more damage with Blaze Ball and these other attacks that we might want to use. 1 Startling Megaphone because Garbodor is a major pain. 2 Switch just for our massive retreat costs on almost everything. And then Dowsing Machine seemed like a very appropriate A-spec card for this deck, since we can recover, you know, any of those supporters, or heck, even a Palpad if we want to. With Palpad, Dowsing Machine, man, the supporters are almost endless. And then Energy, just 7 Fire, 3 double colorless Energy. Now, 7 Fire may be a little low, but when you have 2 Blacksmith, 2 Palpad, you can get those back very quickly. And hey, sometimes this is just enough. I will say that this deck is not tested very much, so there are a lot of things you could change if you wanted to fix it up. But this deck is mainly for fun, and let me tell you, it is a lot of fun. I started playing it, and I started realizing all the crazy things you can do. First thing I might want to point out is Team Flare Grunt is not good. I always just discard it. So maybe you want to opt for more supporters, like more Lysander, Iris, Hooligans, Gym and Cass, Blacksmith maybe. Team Flare Grunt's not very good, but that is what I used in this video. And, you know, enough of me explaining this deck. Let's just jump right into a game I played on Pokemon TCG Online. Let's see Magnezone Delphox in action. We're going to have a mulligan right off the bat, and another mulligan. So that's 2 hands with no basic Pokemon, and 3 hands with no basic Pokemon. Now I just need to start with a Jirachi to make it even better. But nope, we're going to start off with that Reshiram. And since I'm going first, we'll just hold on to that Fennekin. We can bench that when the turn begins. Alright, so my opponent will begin with 3 additional cards, and I do not have a supporter. So beautiful, beautiful start. Yeah, we'll see what we can do, see what we're going up against. Looks like, oh wow, a Virizion Genesect deck. I think this is the best matchup I could have ever hoped for with a almost purely fire attacking deck. Fortunately, I do play Jirachi EX, so I will go ahead and Ultra Ball for that Jirachi EX, discarding the Magnezone and a Startling Megaphone as well. Don't really need the Startling Megaphone for this matchup. And hey, my opponent has about 9 cards in hand. Let's see, 8 cards. So let's just end and put my opponent back down to 6. Draw that DCE. Well, draw a lot of them. And then pass the turn. Now, Reshiram is actually an incredible starter against Virizion EX. If they Emerald Slash into your Reshiram, well, you get to Outrage for a lot of damage. Especially considering Virizion EX is weak to fire. So this is a Very, very good situation to be in. My opponent did play an N and then played an Enhanced Hammer, so that was pretty annoying, but I'll live with it. Alright, so I do draw a level ball here. I'll go ahead and I could grab Magnemite or a Braixen here. I'm going to go ahead and grab that Braixen just to make sure we get Delphox into play. Seems like if we get Delphox out, things should be going pretty smoothly in this matchup. My opponent only has 4 cards, so I'll go ahead and play that Chorus. Get another level ball anyway, so I can grab a Magnemite this time. And you know what? I see the other Magnezone is indeed in my deck, so we'll go ahead and grab that Magnemite, put it on the bench, and then pass the turn. And we'll see what happens from here. Now, cool thing that happens if Virizion EX uses Emerald Slash, all I need is a Muscle Band, and I outrage for 90. 90 times 2 is 180, and goodbye Virizion EX. Right? Now, we do see Hypnotoxic Laser from my opponent as well, so that's going to add on a little bit more damage, make the outrage even more powerful. And okay, my opponent's just going to do the work for me using that Muscle Band to Emerald Slash for 70. Now we get to outrage for the knockout, and that is pretty sweet if you ask me. Alright, so Reshiram is probably going to get knocked out next turn, but we're going to take 2 prizes first, so this is going to be a very, very good turn for me. Now I have a couple of options here. I'm probably going to Skyla for an Ultra Ball. And, well, my other option would be to Lysander and just bring out Genesect and knock it out with Outrage, but I'd rather get a Stage 2 Pokemon in play right here. Seems like a good idea. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Ultra Ball. But which Stage 2 should I get? I could get a Delphox or I could get a Magnezone. Both of them are good. I think here, I really want to get the Dual Brains going. So I think I'm going to Ultra Ball, discarding the N and Lysander, getting that Magnezone, so we can Rare Candy into that right away. Gonna have to burn another double Colorless on the active, but that's fine. We can still play our Juniper for the turn. And okay, I drew 4 more supporters. Would have liked to hit a Delphox there, but that's alright. I could Dowsing Machine, Ultra Ball, but that is the most inefficient thing in the game. Discarding 2 for Dowsing Machine, then 2 more for Ultra Ball. I would really prefer not to do that. So we'll just go ahead with the Outrage and knock out that Virizion EX on, my 3rd turn here. Goodbye, Virizion EX. And weakness is pretty good, let me tell you that much. Alright, so Genesect is coming out. Looks like the energy going right there. And a Megalo Cannon will take down that Reshiram. But you know, we have all sorts of supporters to work with. And we get to play 2 of them. So this is where the deck is going to start getting very fun. Alright, so I have a couple options. Could Skyla for an Ultra Ball. And then Ultra Ball for the Delphox. And then Blacksmith. And Blaze Ball for the knockout. That's option number 1. I am going to go ahead and just Dowsing Machine, though. Whatever. We'll Dowsing Machine for the Ultra Ball. And then Ultra Ball discarding a Fire. And I don't think I'll need an Iris. So we'll go ahead and grab Delphox. Get that into play right here. Put down the Fennekin. And here we go. Blacksmith onto the active. Attach as well. And then Mystical Fire for 4 cards. Isn't this fun? And ooh, we're going to go for the Hooligans, Jim and Cass as well for the second supporter. Heads! Oh, baby. Now things are getting exciting. Goodbye, DC. Goodbye, DC. Goodbye, Mewtwo. 3 cards back into the deck. And there's a Blaze Ball for 220 damage. Goodbye, Genesect EX. And now all of a sudden we're down to 2 prizes. With the fun of Magnezone and Delphox, type advantage not hurting by any means. But here we do see that Mewtwo EX. Fortunately, it's only doing 100 damage right now. Maybe with a Muscle Band, a Verbank, and a Laser, we could see something magical there. But nope, just an X-Ball for 100. And let's see. I think I might be able to pull off. Yeah, I might actually be able to win right here. This is very strange. I'm going to Skyla for a Blacksmith. And what do you know? I can actually play that immediately. Isn't this fun? Playing 2 supporters at once turns out is very good. Just, Magnezone, not usually worth it since, it's a stage 2 Pokemon. Not really worth the benefit of the extra supporter, getting a stage 2 in play, but in this situation it will pay off. Blacksmith, Attach, Muscle Band, and just like that, yes, that is enough for a knockout. Blaze Ball for 170 damage, and are you kidding me? Magnezone Delphox. What just happened? We just outraged and Blaze Balled our way to victory, and we didn't even get to use all of our supporters. You're very rarely going to use all of them, but hey, we got to use the fun ones, right? The Hooligans, Jim and Cass, and hey, what else can you ask for? A Heads on Hooligans, Jim and Cass, a Blacksmith, and a Delphox without Emboar, just knocked out a Mewtwo in one hit. So let that sink in. I would encourage you to try out this deck. Anybody can, build this deck. It's not too difficult to obtain all of the cards. There's no Tropical Beach even. So hey, if you want to have some fun, try out Magnezone Delphox. You'll be surprised at just how fun it can be. But thank you guys for watching. I will certainly have some more videos for you soon. I am Pooka from the Top Cut, and I will see you guys next time.